Obviously Friday night you're going to sort of go back to your roots in a way. We have Athlone Town in the Athlone Town Stadium.
Yeah. It's a long time since I was there now. And in my day it was the old St. Mills Park, so it was I suppose looking as a young fella growing up, it was I used to go to regularly to Athlone games, and Turlock O'Connor actually was the manager, brought them the first league title. They won 2 league titles within the space of 3 years. Did a super team, and I suppose I was playing with the reserve team for a couple of seasons, and it was mainly a local Athlone based team, but I suppose I finished probably, I suppose I was maybe 19 whatever, and then I moved to Cork, and sort of I suppose the rest is history, So it was always good. It was always good soccer town, but I suppose they moved from St. Mel's and they're gone to a new stadium, lovely, nice compact ground, Obviously they have a big long stand on one side, and the rest of the ground isn't developed yet, but it's nice. But it almost, it was a good soccer town that time, and always, I suppose, has been. But I suppose unfortunately for them, they had been in the first division for a long time, and I suppose it's certainly, I feel that with the 2 divisions in the League of Ireland, Athlone was a club that suffered by being in the first division for so long, and the support dropped off, and it was brilliant to see them coming up last year, but I think they have a lot of work to do, to get people back supporting them, because being in the first division for so long took its toll, and it knocked the crowds, and I suppose it wasn't an attractive. The first division is an attractive league, and I suppose this is the situation you have when you have the likes of Waterford, Finn Harps, Galway. Obviously Athlone have come up, but you have teams that were real traditional teams, and you end up being in the first division for long number of years. You lose your support, and it's hard to get it back. And I think
looking at Friday's game, obviously newly promoted team, so in a way they're potential banana skin for us. And they have a very good manager with a very good proven track record.
Huge banana skin, because to be fair to them, as I keep saying, the Premier Division, there's no easy games. You can even see, going back a number of years ago when we were in the first division, there was certain teams that you could beat 4, 5, 6-0, just showing you the gap. But in the Premier Division, that those type of results are non-existent, and they have been for a long time, because the teams are so competitive. There's no easy games, and while when the season spreads out, you see the different gaps in the league. Still, at the same time, anyone can get a result over anyone else on their day, and that's the beauty about it. And like you look at Atlone's form, that I suppose they came up with Roddy, and I suppose it was probably unfortunate for the club that they departed with Roddy at the time, because obviously a lot of players split up. But at the same time, Mick Cook has been a superb manager. Brought Drogheda to second, an unknown quantity at the time. Brought them into second, finish of the season. Brought them to the cup final last year. Brought the Satanta Cup final, the League Cup final. Won the League Cup final. So Mick is a great character. Works really hard. He's probably he's a quiet guy, an unsung hero in lots of ways, because in the league over the years he's done fantastic. And if you look at Atlone's results, they got beaten by a last minute goal away to Sligo, first game of the season. I suppose we're unfortunate. They hit Shamrock Rovers on the night that Shamrock Rovers were sort of on the back of a bad result against Derry, so they were all out to prove themselves. And then last week against UCD, they had a penalty after 3 minutes that was overruled. So instead of being 1-up, they ended up being 2-0 down, came back to 2-1, and in the last couple of minutes, looking on TV, missed a great chance to equalise. So they've been desperately unlucky, and a lot of their players have been sort of have played with Monaghan, some of them with Bray, some with UCD. So they have guys who've been around the league, and even though they haven't been with major clubs, they're all, we say, Premier guys have been around the league, and they've all been they're good hard battlers, and it's a very tricky game for us.
I know your mantra is kind of take it game by game. You don't want to look behind the next game, but given the chances of winning against Athlone, it would set you up for a potential sellout crowd again for Shamrock Rovers the following week. So from that point of view, it's a very important match again. Athlone is, and they need to win really.
I keep saying, and it's the home games are only interested, to the commercial team here who have to sell the games and whatever. To me, the most important game is Friday night because it's 3 points. Same 3 points that we got last week. You know what I mean? It's the same. The points are on offer. So basically you can see you can't afford to slip up. You know what I mean? So like all our energy has to go into Friday night. We have to be in top form. Because if we're not in top form, you're in a very dangerous situation. And if we play the top form, then, I believe if we play the top form, we'll win the match. But if we're not in top form, or, we have 5 or 6 fellas off form, then all of a sudden you drop points, and then it doesn't matter who you play. You know what I mean? After that, so it's the most important game because there's 3 points in offer, and we just have to keep our head down. And I keep saying it was like last Friday's match against Bray. I said all along I felt it was going to be our toughest game because there was an impression out there around the city that Bray are an easy touch and they're not. Yeah. And it's a hard game, and you could see until we got the penalty midway through the second half, Bray were well in the match. And Athlone going to their place, sometimes when you're down like that, you're after 3 defeats. There's only one way to go, and like it's probably from their point of view, and from Mick Cook's point of view, it's probably a great game because we're coming to them. We're up after 7 out of 9. They have no points in a situation where they have nothing to lose, and they're going to come out and have a cut off it. And it's important for us that we can, I suppose, start well and react well, and make sure that we hold our composure and that we're ready for the day,
Can you just give us an injury update? Like you have Liam Carney carrying an injury and Anthony Elding.
Yeah, the situation is that Liam has a tight hamstring, and he did a bit of a warm up this morning, dropped out just for precaution. So we're hoping he'll be available, but it's tight because it's been niggling at him since before Derry, and it's one of those when sometimes you just have to rest it to get rid of it. Elding is due to train tomorrow. We're hoping he will, but it's another touch and go because he hasn't done anything for 13 days, and do you risk him? If a guy like that, with the fact that he might pick up the injury again, so it's a hard call. But anyways, he's only due back tomorrow, and we're going to be cautious with him in the morning just to see. And Mark O'Sullivan still hasn't trained with us this week, because of his hip. So it's I suppose it's a huge concern that that you have so many forward players out of action. So
Danny Morris, saw a specialist as well.
Danny, yeah.
So there's a bit of positive news in him.
Well, it looks like he'll be able to come back training within 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And hopefully then we'll give him another couple of weeks to get his fitness up. He's a young lad and he's a light player, so we'd hope that that maybe within a couple of weeks he'll get back then. So I suppose realistically we'd hope that maybe within a month, in 4 weeks, that he'll be back. Michael is slightly different situation that he had a setback last Thursday, but still we're hoping that he's going to do a session on Friday with the physio, that maybe he might come back training maybe the middle of next week, and hopefully be in contention maybe a week after that. So the best for both of them is another couple of games anyway, whereas obviously we're just keeping our fingers crossed that Anthony will come through, even though it's not even 50-50 at the moment. I think Mark is probably 50-50, which is our best option. So it's disappointing from that point of view that we have so many strikers out of action. So we called in young Greg Hart, training us this morning, because we've robbed the hand. So that's where we're at the moment, which is disappointing. And Johnny Dunleavy has missed all week through tonsillitis, so he's been he's due to train. Doctors hoping that he should train. He might be okay for Thursday morning, which is, again, it's a tight one, so it's. But anyways, looking at the plus side, I suppose on the other hand to that is that we have a lot of guys back. You have Darren Murphy training very hard, you have Dave O'Leary training very hard, you have Ian Turner training very hard, you have Kevin Mulcahy. These guys who are all, making themselves aware, putting themselves in the picture that more or less that if there's anyone isn't right, that they're ready. And so at least the other side to that is that we have 5 or 6 subs who work very hard to get their fitness up to the level, and they're looking sharp like.
John, you just mentioned there about Greg Hart coming into train. Obviously, another fantastic result for the 19s at the weekend. It must be great from your point of view. Firstly, that there's success at under 19 level, but secondly, that there's players at that level who are doing well and capable of making the step up. Then.
Well, capable of making a step up is one thing. You know what I mean? I suppose that what we see is the potential, hopefully, to make the step up. And look, it was a fantastic achievement, 3 in a row. To be fair to Bodie and Stu and the lads involved, Alan and Bernard and Paul and whatever. It was a fantastic achievement. And I suppose look, it's a good thing because mentally it's good to win. People say like you're underage, you're under 19, should be a development team. Yes, to a point, but still mentally it's good to win games. It's good when the pressure is on, because when you step up to the first team, the pressure is even greater. Do you know what I mean? But the good thing about it is that, again, it just shows you here we want to promote from within. We want to promote young players coming through. And if you look at our first team panel at the minute, we have 17 Cork guys in our panel at 24, which is fantastic. Do you know what I mean? And that's not including the 2 lads from Tralee who are on our doorstep, or Michael Rafter was on the other side of our doorstep, and Johnny DeLevy's been here for 3 years. Outside of them, we still have 17 Cork lads, which is fantastic. And the beauty about the 19s is that we need those players to come through. There's tremendous talent and potential there. It's getting to step up is what they have to do, and obviously we've identified certain players that we think can make a step up, and they'll get their chance to train with us. They'll get their opportunity, and really then it's for them really to learn and adapt to the higher tempo, the higher pace and stuff like that. So like we brought in Greg this morning, and lovely guy, great goal scorer for the under 19s, a huge potential, and still has a lot of work to do, and I think even this morning it was an eye opener to him, but in fairness he enjoyed it, and and he's we're going to bring him, and the problem with the striker situation at the moment is that he could be on the bench for Friday night, but at the same time the key for me is to keep him training, to get him up to this speed, get him quicker, get him used to playing with better players, quicker tempo, and hopefully that he can come through, because certainly he has the raw talent that I think that he can make the step up. Plus the fact there are other lads in that 19s that we're looking at, and bring them in over the next couple of months to train with us, and hopefully over the next season, season and a half, they'll start making the breakthrough, like Kavanagh made, Buckley made, Garrow Morris made. But people have to understand that, like, sort of, it's taken these guys nearly 2 years to get up to the level. You don't walk out of under 19s and walk into the senior team. The step up is phenomenal, and like you look at it's really this year, Lennon has really settled down. 3 or 4 games gone, you can see he's settled down. He's up to the pace of the game. He looks like he's going to be a seriously top player. Garrod has been around for a number of years. Gary Buckley, who has been in or out this year, now looks as if he's right, ready for it. Do you know what I mean? John Kavanagh, got 4 or 5 games last year, has come into the team, working hard to get into the team again. But it takes those couple of years of getting physically stronger, filling out, learning to play at the high tempo, and I suppose the key thing is off the pitch, managing yourself, that you understand that you have to rest and recover, to keep your energy, so that when we train, that you're able to train properly, and when the matches come along, that you're ready. It's a different type. It's different than amateur football, or even 19 football, which technically is amateur, where you train 2 nights a week and you play the weekend. Here you're training every day, so it's a different type of preparation. But look, at the beauty is that we have lots of fellas coming through, and for anyone around the city, county, the outskirts, we want to bring in the best young lads out there and give them the opportunity to show them that, look, we are a club that promote from within. We want to promote our own players, and if we want to get them into the first team, and if there are players then that can go even beyond that over to the Championship in England, or even the Premiership in England, that's fantastic as well. But we want to be seen to promote our own fellas from within, and that's the only way forward for us.
Perfect.
Excellent.
Thanks a million.